Well, hello friends and welcome to another episode of Cycling Insider. In this episode, I will give you the buyer's guide for the FACTOR OSTRO VAM road bike, and also at the end, I will make a very short comparison with the main competitor, in my opinion, which is going to be the Giant Propel Advanced Pro bike. So first thing first, let's answer the question, who is this bike for? So you see this FACTOR OSTRO VAM, it's all about aero road bike, which is also designed to be comfortable and also designed to be lightweight. So as Factor says on their website, this bike is their all-rounder bike, and they've tried to achieve this almost like a holy grail of let's make it aerodynamically optimized and light and comfortable. Although I have to admit here that from everything I've read about this bike and seen, lots of people are definitely confirming that it is a comfortable road bike, and then of course all this aerodynamically optimized frame, fork, handlebar, stem, that's all included in the package. So I will put it this way: if you are looking for, aero road bike with a bit more comfortable bike ride, then definitely you should consider the Factor Ostro VAM. Another interesting thing in the naming of this bike is this VAM part. So when you look at the professional cycling, and if you speak with anybody there and you mention VAM, everybody knows what that means. So VAM basically in the professional cycling would stand for vertical meters of climbing in an hour. So you can imagine, let's say you are at the sea level, you start climbing some mountain, you end up at 1,000 meters above sea level. Therefore, you have climbed, 1,000 meters of vertical climbing. And let's say if you did it in 1 hour, so therefore you would have a VAM of 1,000 meters in an hour. When you look at the professionals, they can probably do their VAM measurement of probably 1,500, 1,600 meters of vertical climbing in an hour. So that's a little nod to the name of this bike. I don't know if they did it on purpose, or maybe VAM stands for something different in the Factor world. Okay, now we can really dive into the specifications of this bike and really see what you get for your hard-earned money. One good thing with Factor bikes is that you can build your own bike. So we can go through the process kind of step by step and build the bike. So first thing first, you can choose between the paint schemes on this bike. Luckily, there are 3 paint schemes out of the box to choose from. The first one is this beautiful, in my opinion, Factor Racing Green. Then you also have a paint scheme which they call Chrome paint scheme, kind of black, hint of silver, beautiful paint scheme. And then the Flicker paint scheme, which is their kind of classical paint scheme that you might see these Factor bikes being ridden in the pro peloton by the Israel startup nation, and one very famous character, Chris Froome, 4 times winner of the Tour de France. But that's a story for another day. So all in, it's very nice that you have a choice of 3 paint schemes on this bike. And also, as I see, you have kind of a special, this Prisma paint, which is, I'm guessing, some kind of a personalized paint scheme that you can choose on these bikes. Personally, if I'm in the market for this bike, I would go with this beautiful Factor Racing green paint scheme. I just think it looks stunning. Then the next thing you will choose from, of course, is your frame size. Let's assume you need a frame size of 58. And then, of course, I would suggest you here that if you are going, of course, for the full bike, you gotta choose this complete bike build. Now, this configurator will also ask you to choose the seat post. Do you want any setback on the seat post? Let's say you're assuming a 0 mm setback. And when it comes to their integrated handlebar and the stem, of course, you will choose the width and the stem length. So let's say you are using 42 centimeters width and 100 millimeters of the stem length. Now, just briefly here, I will mention a few characteristics of this carbon fiber frame and the fork. So Factor offers you a limited lifetime warranty on their carbon fiber frame and the fork for the first time owner. Also, this carbon fiber frame and the fork have internal cable routing, 12mm through axles, both front and the back. And also the bottom bracket is T47 bottom bracket with ceramic speed bearings. So, okay, it should be extremely good and easy to service. Your local mechanic will definitely love you. And I will just mention here that some of the smaller pieces, a carbon fiber seat post, and this handlebar and the stem, it is a one-piece carbon fiber affair. So just keep in mind that once you set up your handlebar width and this stem length, that's about it. If you need to change anything in the future, this is a proprietary piece. You can buy, of course, something else from Factor or maybe some other manufacturers, but adjusting the position with this one-piece handlebar and the stem is going to be a bit tricky, so just keep that in mind. Of course, a bunch of manufacturers are doing this because of a bit better aerodynamically optimized whole bike handlebar and the stem, but this is kind of the price you pay when you have this one-piece design. Okay, now the big question is, what about the group set on this bike? So when you go to the configurator, you will see that everything is a full electronic group set. So you can choose from SRAM Force ETAP, SRAM Red ETAP, or Shimano Ultegra Di2, or Shimano Dura-Ace Di2. Personally, I believe that Shimano's Ultegra Di2 group set with 5236 chain rings and 1130 cassette is an excellent choice in this configuration. And I'll just mention here that when it comes to Shimano, always keep in mind that Shimano's, in this case, Ultegra Di2 group set is a semi-wireless group set. So you have a connection between the shifters and the front mech is wireless, and then you have a cable from the front mech to the rear mech. It's a bit different design from a fully wireless group set of SRAM group sets. Also here, you will then choose the crankset. Let's say you are going for 172.5 millimeters, and of course you need to choose your wheel set on this bike. Coming back a bit to the group set, Shimano Ultegra Di2 group set, latest, greatest electronic group set from Shimano, absolutely perfect. I have no complaints here. So shifters, front mech and the rear mech, of course crankset 5236, paired with the Shimano Ultegra cassette, in this case 1130, and I truly believe that the chain should also be Shimano Ultegra. Braking system, of course, is going to be Shimano's Ultegra hydraulic disc brakes. They don't give here a lot of specifications about the braking rotors, but again, I would expect braking rotors here to be Shimano Ultegra braking rotors, RT800, or maybe they've used something from the mountain bike world. Again, I would expect it to be 160 millimeters front and the back, but this is a small little detail I suggest you check with the Factor team or your local shop which deals with Factor bikes. All in all, absolutely no complaints when it comes to the Shimano Ultegra Di2 group set from me. As I was saying, the next step in building your bike is, of course, the wheel set. Here you have an option from the Black Ink wheel set, so kind of an in-house brand of Factor. I would definitely go with the 45 wheel set. And if you briefly look at the specifications of this 45 wheel set, so it is a carbon fiber wheel set, Black Ink carbon fiber wheel set. On the open market, retail price is $2,400 US. And some of the main characteristics of this wheel set are that it is a clincher type rim. It is a tubeless ready, but you will need to provide your tubeless tape and the tubeless valve. As I said, a carbon fiber wheel set. And the total weight of the wheel set is approximately 1,500 grams, which is very good in my book. It comes with the hubs, which are a combination of Black Ink hubs with ceramic speed bearings. Again, I would expect it to work perfectly fine. 45 millimeters is the rim height, so in this case you are getting a very good aerodynamically optimized wheel set, and the internal rim width is 21 millimeters. As they say here, this wheel set is optimized for the tires between 25 and 28 millimeters. You know, I always advise you to go with 28 millimeter tire just because much more air volume and much more smoother ride. Okay, now when you have ticked all the boxes you want in this configurator, the retail price comes out at $8,600 US. So absolutely not a cheap bike. It's on the levels of the eye-watering bike prices. But this is kind of the situation in today's bike world. If you want this similar bike built, the prices are usually around 8,000 US dollars. And why am I saying this is that if you look at the closest competition to this bike, for example, in my opinion, it should be the Giant Propel Advanced Pro bike with the Shimano Di2 electronic group set. This is the model for the 2023 season. And as you see, this bike retails for 8,000 US dollars. Again, briefly, superb carbon fiber frame and fork from Giant with their lifetime warranty, carbon fiber seat post, and a bit of combination of carbon fiber handlebar and the aluminum stem. So these are separate pieces here, very interesting. I like it a bit more. And then the group set, full group set, Shimano Ultegra Di2 electronic group set, shifters, front mech, rear mech, crankset, cassette, chain, and also the hydraulic disc brakes from Shimano Ultegra. And again, in this case, you are getting the Giant's own carbon fiber wheel set, which is, in this case, the Giant SLR 150 carbon fiber wheel set, 50 millimeters rim height, front and the back, with the Giant's own low friction hubs. So see, it's a very good, very close competitor to the Factor bike, and you see the retail price in this case is 8,000 US dollars. So in a summary, what would be my advice to you if you are thinking of buying Factor Ostro VAM road bike with this Shimano Ultegra Di2 build, which has a retail price of 8,600 US dollars? Well, I would say you should definitely shortlist this bike. And if you are in the market for something a bit special, something a bit rare, then okay, go ahead and spend this 8,600 US dollars on the Factor Ostro VAM. If not, then I would definitely suggest you just to go ahead and buy the 2023 Giant Propel Advanced Pro Zero bike for 8,000 US dollars, because again, it's an astonishing aero road bike. And if I'm being honest, I just don't see why would you pay extra, let's say 600 US dollars for the Factor Ostro, unless you really are looking for something a bit special, something a bit unique, something that you don't see so often on the road. So I think this is going to be it for today. I hope you like what I'm doing, and if you do, keep on watching, keep on liking, and as always, I will see you soon in the next episode. Cheers!